I keep saying Kevin Spacey was on with Tucker Carlson. That's not correct.
All right, Frank Underwood was.
The great Frank Underwood was on with Tucker Carlson over the Christmas break. And I know it's old news now, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. I'm very intrigued by it. I think it's an interesting psychological breakdown of a man.
It's...
You know what? I should say of two men.
Yes. Okay, that was... Okay, yes, that's what the words I was looking for right there.
Because Tucker Carlson was like a journalist for a while, wasn't he?
Was until maybe this moment.
I would say having a guy that claims he sucked Obama's dick on might have been the first... the first sign of dissent. But yeah, I don't know what this is, so let's just play it. So Frank Underwood, you guys remember him, former president of the United States.
Killed the guy.
He was on with Tucker Carlson.
2024 has not even begun yet, and it does seem like
I'm sitting there with my family on Christmas Eve, and people are texting me like, he's back. It's like, yes.
I think you texted me on Christmas Eve.
I only wanted to do an emergency show.
I probably could have pulled it off. You should have suggested, like, any way this is possible. Yeah.
is effectively frozen in place, if not over. We know who the candidates are. It's too late for another to get in. Some have already dropped out. But is it...
By the way, again, this is a man people turn to for news, and they just see this go up on Twitter, and they're like, oh, shit, who's about to run? Who's announcing their candidate? Is Tucker about to announce that he's running for president? What's going on here?
Did he get Hillary?
This is a man who reports legitimate news, supposedly, and watch what he's about to do.
2024 has not even begun yet, and it does seem like the presidential race is effectively frozen in place, if not over. We know who the candidates are. It's too late for another to get in. Some have already dropped out. But is it too late? Is there anyone in this country of 350 million people who could jump in at this late date and re-scramble the calculus of electoral politics? Well, there may be someone. And in fact, you already know him. You know his face.
We do.
Yeah, it's been looking at you when you didn't want it to.
I really thought, like, when I first clicked on this without looking at the title, I was like, oh, is Tucker announcing he's running for president?
Well, when you first sent this to me, I was like, who could this be? Because this thought didn't cross my mind, because there's no way Tucker's...
I forgot it was Christmas Eve, to be fair. If I had known, I know it's a tradition, so...
But there's just no way that Tucker Carlson is going to get in bed with this guy.
Au contraire.
The potential, he's on the top of the list for possibly running mates with Donald Trump, this guy, Tucker Carlson.
Get in this cycle. And that's my question for you.
Well, it's really a decision for the people, Tucker. It's not...
You can hear him. You can hear that he's rusty.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to get into the Frank Underwood. Well, it's almost like he's doing a bad Reagan impression. Well...
They think about or want to do. And Merry Christmas to you too. But I've always believed that nothing should...
Why is he always Frank Underwood in these?
I don't know, because he's not a pedophile, I guess. I don't know.
Is it like he's antagonizing the American public? So, for anyone that doesn't know, Kevin Spacey accused of some things, some inappropriate things with younger boys.
Yep.
Younger gentlemen, we'll call them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's playing Frank Underwood, which, if you don't know...
Technically, he got those charges dismissed.
He's an innocent man, damn it.
Yeah, he's technically innocent.
But this started when we didn't know that.
Right.
So he's accused of some villainous things. And in these videos on Christmas Eve, that we missed him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He plays Frank Underwood, who, if you didn't watch House of Cards, is a man who's committed a litany of murders.
Yeah. Started off by throwing a woman into a train.
Yeah, so he's saying, I guess, I am the villain, I guess is supposed to be his message, which is an odd thing. Like, it's kind of funny if you're like Dave Portnoy or something against the New York Times, you know?
Right.
It's cute to be like, I'm the bad guy. Not when you're accused of pedophilia, you know?
It's just adorable.
Like, oh yeah, this guy really is a villain. Oh, he is a monster.
off the table in life or in art. I think we could both agree that we need to get some adults back in the room. So if that means taking on the chief executive role, well, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for this great nation.
Adults in the room. I love it. I could see it as a bumper sticker.
Oh,
Is that
God,
your
Tucker.
Kevin doesn't.
Uh,
Kevin hates when adults are in the room.
You prefer Frank, though.
Look at Tucker's acting, where he's all
Yes.
excited.
This is tough to watch.
This is by the way, to you, you right wingers, people like Craig.
Hey.
This is the guy you trust most in news. I
Yep.
just want you to keep that in mind. I like Tucker Carlson, but this is the man you trust at the forefront of reporting.
Country needs to stop apologizing and stiffen up. I mean, look, we got so many people running around with so many different issues like
Listen,
gun
if you fuck a
control.
young boy, stuff your sorries in a sack, I say. Enough with the apologizing for these crimes. I guess that's my holiday message to Chris D'Elia. Chris, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have had to apologize. I take it all back.
Throw it in everyone's face.
Let's be honest. The truth is, more people are killed by online trolls every day.
That may be true, actually, but then they're protected by the
Tucker pretending that. Huh, interesting. That may be true, actually. That's an interesting point.
they can say whatever they want. You
Maniacs.
believe that for
This is so disappointing from Tucker. Like, I hate this so much.
It's wild. Has he talked about it since?
I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Lemon, I assume.
Of course I do. Look, people spewing ridiculous ideas is nothing new, and they should always have that right. But the problem is, some are
This had to be like Spacey was like, I will give you X amount of money to do this.
Well, yeah. I think Elon was like, I'll give you X amount of money to do this, but I think Tucker's just doing whatever the fuck, get some clicks on Twitter.
Got clicks, that's for sure.
way we started listening. And we should remember the salient words of Benjamin Franklin, who said, "Do not believe anything of what you hear and only half of what you see." And he
Now,
wasn't
this is what's interesting. Is he talking about the things Frank Underwood was accused of?
I think these have all had subtle hints at Kevin Spacey.
I think you might be right, Craig. There's a very veiled undertone that Kevin Spacey might be the one who's innocent of everything.
He was telling us to stop listening. So let's stop blaming bots and college kids and start telling leaders what leadership really means.
I love it. But how do you do that?
Well, God, so much
Tucker, stop
contradiction
it.
and
Tucker's
confusion. We don't even
confused.
I hate this.
Ah,
No, I just want to like snap and be like, this is fucking stupid.
I gotta say, Tucker's acting chops are not terrible in this. How do you do that?
know how we can help anyone anymore because we can't agree who needs help. I mean, what doesn't come with a trigger warning these days? I mean, Tucker, we are far too close to having a beanbag chair in the Oval Office. We coddle to everybody. Okay, you think you're a rabbit, that's fine. But let me tell you something. You sure as hell aren't gonna see-
Now you guys gotta like this.
Now I'm starting to wake up a little bit. Again,
I identify as a rabbit.
Underwood 2024.
How great would it be if this kind of starts with guys like Craig and Jerry and these people like, it's ridiculous. And then by the end, they're like, I think we should vote Underwood.
Yeah, Jerry's first show back is going to just be like, I know it started as a joke.
Frank Underwood actually runs on the Republican ticket.
You could probably, I can be like, Jerry, I can probably get Kevin Spacey as Frank Underwood on the show if we tell him we're on Newsmax.
That would be a great, for anyone that wants to punish Kevin Spacey. I know people think like, oh, this is allowing him back. Like if he committed these crimes, this is allowing him back into, popular culture, whatever. It would be a tremendous punishment if we made him run for president and win. And he had to be Frank Underwood all the time.
He just keeps getting spotted at that barbecue spot.
He Charlie's or whatever that guy's name was. That would be great. If he, for the rest of his life, had to be President Frank Underwood.
It probably sounds better than being Kevin Spacey, to be honest.
Just CBS News is like, this morning, President Frank Underwood held a press conference.
Does he legally change his name?
Isn't a tale unless it's Easter.
Well, amen. But how do you think we got here in the first place?
Fear, fear, and then some more fear. That's been the consistent theme, fear. And that's why I'm going to keep saying we need to get some adults back in the room.
Sounds like you're
You
running.
said that
If
already.
you did run, I assume it would be as an independent.
Well, I've always been independent my whole life, no matter what my party affiliation, even though at the moment I don't quite recognize my old
I said,
party.
no matter the age of consent, I'll shove my hand down a pair of pants, no matter what age they belong to.
I see a legal document, I throw it in the trash.
So at what point would you get in if you did?
Well, I think there's
About
time.
12, 13.
I've never been afraid to show up a little late for the dance.
But lots of people want to be president. What would you specifically bring that others aren't?
Think about this man.
Tucker Carlson.
He's worked for CNN, MSNBC, and Fox.
Is the
And he's saying to a fictional character. This is think about it this way. My pal Rick Glassman. I've talked about Rick Glassman's podcast on here before.
yes.
The same week that this came out, this whatever you call this video came out, Rick Glassman had Santa Claus on his podcast. They are equal interviewers, Tucker and Rick Glassman. They're doing the exact same thing, interviewing a fictional character.
I have a long and very solid relationship with the public, and that's a bond that has never been broken. I mean, I've almost felt like I can talk to them directly.
Well, I mean, you do talk to them every Christmas. You give a statement. It is Christmas Eve. What is your statement specifically?
Not
this-
every Christmas, by the way. I'd like to air my grievances here.
Did he miss one or two?
I think he missed two. Now, sure, we were going through a pandemic. I understand,
Yeah,
Kevin,
we
but
got it.
he missed at least two.
Tucker, I think it's just good enough to sip some eggnog and decorate the tree and listen to White Christmas and embrace all the things that make this such a special day. The truth
This is also where you remember that House of Cards must have had good writers as well.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, it's Frank Underwood because of the voice, but he's not really saying much.
It's just good enough to sip some eggnog and decorate the tree and listen to White Christmas and embrace all the things that make this such a special day. The truth is, I love nothing better on this day than to do a line of blow, drink a whiskey and Coke, hit a reindeer with my car, and wish you all the naughtiest Christmas ever.
Well, we kind
You
of
like
jumped
some-
the shark on any sort of reality now.
That was him looking at the camera. He was doing that bit. When he breaks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, when he
That's
says
fun.
when he says in a Merry Christmas to you at the beginning, he's not saying it to Tucker, he's saying it to us.
Got it. Okay, and just try and remember who's sitting there, freeze framed, while Zach Morris looks at the camera. Think of the man that's sitting there waiting to talk again.
Actually,
Oh, yes, we both got canned by our network.
true. But they actually tried to kill you.
Yes, but here we are, Tucker, bigger than ever.
So looking back on all the drama, do you think that legacy media played a role in what happened to you?
Look, I think they're trying to do their best to stay relevant. Look, platforms like X, I mean, you move information around so quick that everybody else just...
Okay, now we get to the sales pitch. And the great thing about the sham wow is
It'd be so great if
it barely
you
feels like I'm cleaning.
imagine Ron DeSantis, who's having a hard time talking in front of people as it is, having to look at Frank Underwood and say something seriously. You'd be like, "Yeah, you're accused of being a pedophile." He's like, "That wasn't me."
I'd like to have a glass of eggnog and have the naughtiest Christmas ever.
Do cocaine.
And people are like, yeah! Underwood!
Hack ride. In a span of 1 year, 3 accusers of Kevin Spacey died mysteriously.
Who cares? This is Frank Underwood we're talking to.
Yeah, we
What
don't
does that have
know.
to do with anything?
We would never talk about Kevin Spacey.
That's you know what? That's an element I didn't even dawn on me. Tucker Carlson has an interview with Kevin Spacey,
That didn't dawn on you.
and this is what he's doing with it.
That was my first thought.
I just thought how ridiculous it is that he's participating in it.
No.
I forgot he's sitting in a room with Kevin Spacey.
That was literally my first thought.
He's like, well, I could ask him about his crimes.
We're playing a pedophile hunter in his first movie back.
I was so focused on the ridiculousness of what was happening in front of me, I couldn't see through the trees.
See, media's diligence has turned out to be they just cut and paste what some trusted outlet does. I mean, look, this will be a good example. Watch how they report on this conversation. There'll be 1 or 2 headlines over and over.
Just you wait till they see what they say about us.
Watch, they're gonna say this is ridiculous and that Tucker has no credibility anymore, and that I'm an insane person. But that, of course, would be crazy.
If legacy media wants to survive, they're going to have to start slowing down.
That's smart. I agree with that.
Yeah,
By the way, do you watch
smart.
Netflix anymore?
Probably as much as you watch Fox.
Fair. So
I have to pretend it's not a scripted joke. Oh, you got me, you card.
To be fair, that might not have been.
I don't even know if you're aware of this, but every time a person pulls up the Netflix app, you're there in some way. Have you seen this?
We're gonna get demonetized.
My
every day.
God.
Yes, you know what that is? Boom, boom. So it is bizarre that they decided to.
That's from him?
No.
What the frig was the point of that?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to
I think
watch.
maybe someone told him that. I have no idea. I've never heard that before. I don't know.
That would be wild, actually.
ties with me on allegations alone, allegations that have now been proven false. Netflix exists because of me. I put them on the map, and they tried to put me in.
How great would it have been if Frank Underwood just says to him, you know, I think politics are pretty gay, Tucker. Just pulls a Louis J. Gomez.
His favorite line.
Do you think within Netflix and the leadership suites that your influence is still felt?
Well, according to your research, my influence is felt every time every customer opens the app. I'd say that's pretty powerful.
Oh, that's true. When are you getting back to work, by the way?
Oh, I've been back at work from the moment we started talking, Tucker.
So does that mean this is like an episode?
You've let me back into society. Just keep that in mind.
I mean,
You're doing something you shouldn't be right now.
You're giving me credibility.
I have to look this up. Netflix sound.
It doesn't make any sense if that's why. I know that Frank Underwood does that, but it's not the same sound.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say anything.
Yeah, if someone knows, look into that. Do some research, as John would say.
That is apparently from House of Cards.
Really?
Which part?
Well, he does 2 knocks on the table.
Well,
Every time he gets up from his desk or whatever.
Oh, maybe it was actually the sound. I don't know. That's crazy.
That's not the sound, though. It's not the same sound.
It's just someone going. Okay.
Well, whatever.
what's true? What's false?
How much time's left in this?
2 minutes, a minute and a half.
Okay, we can get to the end of that.
Life, what's art? What's real? What's performance? I love it when these things intersect because then it gets interesting.
What role do you see yourself playing going forward?
I will play whatever role the public wants me to play. And what about you, Tucker? What role do you want to play? I mean,
Well, legally, I don't think you can play Frank Underwood. So,
yeah, it's going to be a lawsuit of some
I think if
kind.
you accepted money for this, then you're probably in some trouble.
John, I'm going to need a vice president.
I'll sleep on it. But, I mean, people have already gotten out of the race.
Tucker,
People have
stop
dropped out
it.
already. What do you think of those?
Well, you know, it's a little bit like jumping in the jacuzzi with a boner. You know it ain't going to last forever. So I wasn't surprised when Mike...
That's where I'm saying you can tell that it's not the same folksy writing that House of Cards had. They spin a yarn on House of Cards.
I think it would be more like jumping in a pool with a boner. It's pretty warm in a jacuzzi. You don't have to
This
really
is just Kevin Spacey trying his best.
Nicola in the chat. I'm just reading this because it's funny. Is Prince Andrew on next week, Tucker?
Yes, but he'll be playing a wacky
I
character.
was going to say he's not going to ask him anything about what's going on. He's just going to be like,
yeah, he'll be doing a Monty Python character or something.
"Oh, look, we have King James in today."
Pensive jumped out right away.
I wasn't either. But what about the candidates who are still
Tucker,
in?
you rascal!
I hate
like
this
Vivek.
so much.
Drain the Ramaswamy.
I'm making Craig. Really, all I'm doing is making Craig watch all of this.
I know.
Accept it. Accept your hero.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And Nikki Haley is tough. She's no doubt learned a thing
She
or two
stinks.
by watching me. But I think in the end, we need someone in the White House who's not afraid, like me, not afraid to push our country or a journalist in the right direction if it comes to that.
I should appreciate your coming on. It was
That was a death threat. That was exactly what he did in the show. He killed the
Yeah.
journalist. But
Yeah. I remember.
No, he did the pushing motion as he said it.
I remember.
great to see you.
Yeah. So the accused pedophile may kill someone if he doesn't like what they say.
So vote for him.
Yeah.
You, Tucker. I only showed up because I was told I would get to be on X. Not the drug, not the platform. I was curious as to what Tucker on X might be like.
I have never tried that.
Well, you wouldn't be the first guy to tell me you'd never tried that before.
Oh my!
Maybe he did do it.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's a little fun nod to the pedophilia accusations. I see what he's doing.
God damn it!
Maybe he took advantage of young boys. That's fun.
Tom from Michigan, $2. Greatest show. I remain in a coney head and a gearhead.
A coney head. We're gonna have to find something better than that.
Magnesium linoleum, $5. I agree with this. Producer Jerry is better than producer Craig.
Oh, I mean that's hands down. Yeah, producer
He's
Jerry, he kills it.
He's really good. That was uncomfortable. Fucking
Whew.
Tucker.
Yeah. Well, so Merry Christmas, everyone. I know I didn't get to celebrate with you on time this year, but maybe next year. maybe we'll get Biden to do it with him next year. Or Trump would do this.